It's the Bulls Podcast, episode 18.
Hey, Chicago Bulls fans! It's time for your Bulls Podcast. Here are your hosts, Marcus Couch and Wyse Black.
Welcome to the Bulls Podcast, coming to you from bullspodcast.com. This is where we bring you the latest news, reviews, rants, rumors, and opinions on the players, coaches, and front office of our Chicago Bulls. My name is Marcus Couch, and with me is my co-host, Mr. Wyse Black.
Yo, what up to all my Bull lifers? We're knee deep in the holiday season right now with Christmas quickly approaching, so I hope all of y'all are out here spreading the holiday cheer. My partner in crime and I are about to do just that by giving you your Bulls fix, so I hope you enjoy.
Oh yeah, we got a lot in store this episode, including post-game analysis of the Bulls versus the Brooklyn Nets, which just finished moments ago for us. The Boylen Era is not looking that great this far, so we will give our predictions for the rest of the season. We've got some injury updates. Zach LaVine out 2 to 4 weeks. We're going to see how that will impact the team going forward. And Jabari is on the trading block. Who else can we deal out? We announced the return of the ESPN trade machine. Come tank with us. We'll be right back after this quick timeout.
Bulls fans, remember to follow the show on social media at Bulls Podcast and at bullspodcast.com.
All right, everybody, we are happy to announce that we are on Spotify, so make sure you go to bullspodcast.com/Spotify, and it will take you right to the podcast right there on Spotify. So make sure you add us to your favorites and catch every new episode as they are released. We're going to talk about some Bulls post-game wrap-up. We just watched the Bulls versus the Brooklyn Nets. The Bulls lost this game 96-93. The game was really back and forth with over 25 lead changes and a lot of heart showed by Chris Dunn and Shaq Harrison, who had a ton of hustle in the game. Wendell Carter Jr. displayed kind of a preview of his future role as a star with several blocks, a couple monstrous dunks. And at about 2 minutes left in the fourth, we actually got a shot of Bobby Portis limping into the locker room. So I hope for Bobby's sake, this is just a turned ankle, doesn't have anything to do with his previously injured knee that he had that kept him out for nearly 2 months. This game ended with a controversial call on Chris Dunn, combined with some really sloppy ball handling, leading to a turnover that helped the Nets pull out the win, sealed by 2 free throws from former Bull Spencer Dinwiddie. Wyse, what'd you think of this game?
So this was one of those classical, old school, I should say, grinded out games. It was actually pretty fun to see, just because this was one of those games that you don't typically see nowadays, where it's low scoring, just straight up hard-nosed defense and guys just falling all over the place. This was a nasty, pretty sloppy game, as a matter of fact, where no team could really pull away. But I really enjoyed this game. I will say that. But the Bulls, I felt like they did their thing, like pretty much all throughout this game. As I said, no one was really able to pull away. So I was loving the defensive effort that I saw out of pretty much everybody on the floor, from Chris Dunn all the way to Robin Lopez and Wendell Carter Jr. So this was definitely one of those games that the Bulls shouldn't hang their heads on. As you mentioned, Chris Dunn, he played very well tonight. I don't remember how many points he had, but I'm pretty sure he led the team. Lauri Markkanen, he chipped in with a few triples that helped this team stay into the game. So it wasn't one of those games where, I wanted to just pull my hair out because the Bulls just sucked or I was just tired of watching it, So this is one that the Bulls can be proud of. It came, with an L, but I wasn't mad at this game.
Yeah, now Chris Dunn actually had 24 points. He had 6 assists to go along with that and 2 steals.
Very solid
he did
game.
Really well in this game. Stat line, the team actually shot 44% from field goal. They were 40 of 91, 6 of 19 from three-point range at just 31%, so not that great there. The Nets a little bit better, 34 of 74, shooting 46% field goals, and their three-point percentage was about 32. What's interesting, though, is that the calls did not go the Bulls' way at all. Brooklyn shot 25 free throws to the Bulls' 10. So
Wow.
That was a huge, huge advantage for the Brooklyn Nets in that regard. So not too bad. The one thing that I noticed is, the guy who led the team in minutes today was Justin Holiday with 34 minutes, but he shot 2 of 10 and 1 of 5 from 3 points and ended up the game with 5 points. Not too good for Justin Holiday. I know everybody's talking about his 3-point streak.
Yeah.
He's had the most consecutive games with a 3. Okay, great. But who really cares about that? Sink 10 of them in a game and impress me. One? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, man. Justin Holiday is just one of those streaky players. He's going to live and die by that jump shot. Certain games, he's just on fire, and you love him out there. But on games like tonight, I mean, like he was making a lot of like puzzling, jump shot attempts, and they just weren't falling. They just weren't falling for him. And I mean, like I said, with Justin Holiday, this is one of those things that you have to expect from him. So he was just off tonight.
Yeah. Now, who surprised me in this game? Shaq Harrison, 25 minutes, 13 points. He was 6 of 8. On his shots, 1 for 1 on free throws. He did pretty good. 2 rebounds and 1 assist. So not too bad. Seemed like he was, doing the load. And that was a nice surprise for us. I don't think anybody really expected Shaq Harrison to put out the kind of effort when we first picked him up. I know that you and I weren't really all too thrilled with the pick as far as bringing him on board. But I think that that's a really nice find. I think sometimes the Bulls find these diamonds in the rough. The bench scoring pretty much even, 39 for the Nets, 37 for the Bulls. Fast break points, 6 for the Bulls, 2 for the Nets. The Bulls killed them in the paint, 62 points to 42 points.
Yeah.
So pretty even game all around. It's just we kind of got screwed in the end. And that's that, right? There's nothing we can really do about that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, this isn't one that they should hang their heads on. I do think that they could have executed a lot better down the stretch. But, I mean, games like this happen, I guess,
Yep, exactly. And so, we're going to be looking forward to the Bulls kind of maybe trying to turn it around. But I'm really excited to see Chris Dunn now, especially after tonight's game and to see how he stepped it up.
Hey, at least we got the L. Keep the tank going, right?
That's right. That's the goal, right? Only about 40 more of those, and we'll get Zion in a nice Bulls uniform. So as we alluded to before, let's talk about some quick Bulls injury updates. Zach LaVine is going to be out for another 2 to 4 weeks after he sprained his ankle versus Orlando. Well, the Bulls were in Mexico City for their big debut down there. So with him out of the lineup, it's up to the rest of the guys to step up and take charge. Luckily, no one else in the club is hurt with the exception of Denzel Valentine and a limping off Bobby Portis. So we're going to find out exactly what happened there. But hopefully that's nothing too serious.
Yeah,
it's nice to see everybody there. But I will say one thing about this injury thing with Bobby. Even without that shot of him limping into the locker room, I think this knee thing has really affected his play.
I hope not, man. Or do you think that it's had an effect on his play that you've seen so far, you mean?
Yeah, since he's come back, absolutely.
I thought that he played fairly decent out there tonight. He had 16 points before he went out, so, I mean, maybe just his explosiveness isn't there a little bit.
Exactly. Maybe, yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at. I just don't think he's got that explosive fire that he had previously. And, hey, maybe he's trying to play it safe because he knows this is a contract year and he doesn't want to screw it up for his contract chances once the season ends. Who knows?
Hopefully, like you said, this isn't anything serious and Bobby can just come back and fully healthy. But as far as Zach LaVine being out, now they're saying that I saw a report today stating that he's going to be out an additional 2 to 4 weeks, right? Yeah, as you mentioned. So if you look at how this game turned out today, is basically what you can expect more of. Because with Zach LaVine now, we lose almost 20 points per game.
Yep.
Like that's a very, very nice chunk of points that we're gonna be missing out there. So I guess you can just expect a lot more of Chris Dunn, actually.
Yeah.
Because
and you're gonna get
in the past few games, I thought that he's really stepped his game up offensively. And that's something that I really didn't expect from him. And that actually makes me think, when Zach LaVine is out there on the floor with Chris Dunn and Lauri Markkanen, you don't necessarily see those two guys get off, or maybe Lauri Markkanen to a lesser degree, but Chris Dunn, his game seems like it has a little bit of a lid on it, at least offensively, when he's on the floor with Zach LaVine. So with Chris Dunn having this resurgence of having this much of a scoring punch when Zach LaVine isn't on the floor, I think that just shows that the Bulls have their work cut out for them in terms of figuring out how to have these guys gel together, meaning the three that came over, in Lauri Markkanen, Chris Dunn, and Zach LaVine.
I agree. And that's really going to be a question, because Zach is one of those guys who runs the most up and down the floor amongst everybody in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And he led the league for a while. He's, I think, still in the top 3 as far as how much ground he actually covers throughout the game. And I wonder how this injury is going to happen. I don't think this is just a simple ankle sprain, because if you're out 2 to 4 weeks, you got something going on. And it was a stupid play that he got hurt on too. Probably shouldn't have even been in the game at that time. But whatever, man. That's the way it happens, right? Every stupid injury is that way. So we will see. But just like what you said, man, I expect Shaq Harrison and Ryan Arcidiacono to pick up the slack as far as taking over those guard duties while Zach LaVine is out. And I don't mind that. I mean, I think if we're properly going to tank like everybody thinks that we should be, and I'm probably one of the leading tank drivers on that, I'd love to see Ryan Arcidiacono come into his own. I'd love to see somebody like Shaq Harrison come in so that we can dump Payne and dump all the rest of these guys that aren't pulling their weight.
Listen, I must say, with Ryan Arcidiacono, that dude, he has come along, man. He's playing a lot better than he did last year, and he's had me change my tune on him, because I really didn't believe in that kid last season. But this year, with the opportunity to play, I mean, he's come in and he's played key rotational minutes, and even being into the starting lineup, he's effective as a starter out there. I don't think he's necessarily a starting player, but with guys out right now, he's not hurting us. He's a smart guy out there. He's tough. He's gritty. He plays defense, and he's just all that I want in a backup point guard. So hats off to him.
Yeah, and anytime you get a guy that I know that Justin Holiday's got this streak going of 3-pointers. I think we ought to applaud Ryan Arcidiacono's streak of diving on the floor every single game.
Yeah,
because you've seen it every single time. He's not afraid. He will jump down there and fight for that ball every single time. So, yeah, I mean, that is the silver lining, right? In the cloud of injuries that the Bulls have had, is you've gotten some guys to step up that we didn't exactly think would step up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about the state of the Bulls, since it's been a while since we've given you a podcast. And we're going to explore some trades that Wyse and I have come up with the ESPN trade machine. We're going to do that right after this. Hey, remember, everybody, we're a new show, and we do need your support in social media. We made it super easy to find us on all our social media links. You can just go to bullspodcast.com/social. And we've got everything listed there. Or if you just want to take the direct route, we made some short links for you. bullspodcast.com/Twitter, bullspodcast.com/Facebook/YouTube/Instagram. You get the point. Help us out on social, spread the word, and make the Bulls Podcast great. Okay, let's talk about the state of the Bulls. It's been a few weeks since we were able to do a show together, and what a wild few weeks it's actually been. Fred Hoiberg is out. Assistant coach Jim Boylen has assumed the reins of head coaching duty. Now, we all know about the drama that happened since Boylen assumed control, and it really told a lot about this team and just how soft a lot of them really are. I know they're pros, but trying to boycott a practice and declare mutiny is not a good showing in a city like Chicago that's filled with hardworking lunch bucket type people that are known for their perseverance and their toughness. I mean, it's the kind of stunt that we don't see in Chicago at this scale very often. I mean, I can't remember the Blackhawks ever doing that. I don't remember the Bears ever doing that.
No.
Any of the other teams doing that. So it's time to take a real hard look at this roster to see what we can do to get some winners to actually play for the Bulls. So if you're going to have the worst team in the league, or at least one of the worst teams in the league, don't complain about how hard that you work. Don't proclaim how entitled you are with secret little text message, group chats or whatever it is. When you're a player and you can't even win but 25% of your games, you ought to be in the gym and doing push-ups, whether the coach wants you to or not. I mean,
exactly.
I understand there's some guys injured. I understand that some guys were coming back, and we didn't have Lowry. We didn't have a bunch of guys during that stretch. But you know what? That's no excuse for how the players are acting. So while it's probably true that a guy like Fred Hoiberg was a soft players coach, that's not the kind of team that we want or deserve as Chicago Bulls fans. I wouldn't mind. I'm serious, Wise. I would not mind if we kept Lowry, Dunn, and Wendell Carter Jr. and flushed everybody else down the drain. We need a full oil change here, my man, from top to bottom. What do you think?
You know what? I'd add, just because I look at the type of the type of player that he is, I think I'd add Ryan Arcidiacono to that as well.
Yeah,
I don't think that he was complaining about the practices just because of his progression. You know how much progress he's made this year. I think he doesn't mind, practice. But you make great points, man. These guys are acting like little brats, and man, in the city of Wynn, in the hard-nosed city of Chicago, man, where winners are born, you can't have that kind of attitude, man. Like, you look at the Jordan days and with that team, Scottie, Pip, and all of them, I know it's a different era, but still, you still got to carry that same energy over just from this city. This city being Chicago, this is a tough, hard, gritty city. It's wintertime, 9 months out of the year here, man. So this is a grind out city. We can't have, crybabies on this team. And I mean, if you ask me, if I had to even just throw a name out there, man, I really think that Zach LaVine probably led the ham on that.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it.
Not to just call him out, but hey, I mean, I truly think that was Zach LaVine that did all of that crying, man. But
I'm going to put something to you, okay? You and I are, hardworking blue collar people. Yeah. When you go to work and you hear somebody that you work with start off almost every sentence with, "I work hard," usually that's not the guy that works the hardest.
Exactly.
So, I know he did a nice little drone video and all the rest of this of him working out this summer, and I know he's done a lot since he came back, and I get that. But don't say how hard you work. Go work harder and shut your mouth. That's really where it's got to be with this team. And props to Robin Lopez, props to Lauri Markkanen for trying to put the squash on that whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that, those two guys, I'm really actually glad that we kept Robin and didn't try and trade him off. I hope he can stay with us for the rest of the year just to keep these guys, their mindset in the right direction. I know he's not going to be here next year with a $14 million salary. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But no. I don't know. And you know who? I bet you was the guy that told Zach LaVine, "Yeah, man, let's boycott." I bet it was Felicio, that soft little Martian. God.
What? Why would he say that? Man,
I don't know, because he doesn't seem like he
play. he doesn't play in any games, so that's the only tick that he's getting is in practice.
Yeah. Well.
But no, man, you got a good point. I think it's like how that saying goes, like those who know don't speak it, and those who speak it, well, obviously don't know. And that's the thing. Like, you don't have to talk about the hard work that you put in. You showcase it on the floor. And that's all that we want out of these guys, man. And if these guys can't do that, then like you said, you don't have to be here. Yep. Simple as that.
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I know that Jim Boylen's been doing push-ups with his guys in practice. Not very good ones, by the way. I saw it. You're not bending your arms far enough there, Freddie.
That was awesome, though.
Yeah, that's good. At least he's going to lead by example. You know who I'd like to see as the interim assistant coach for the Bulls? Khalil Mack. Bring him over.
Khalil Mack.
Teach those boys how to not be soft
I had to
anymore.
think about it for a second. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, they need a little football in their heart.
Yeah, they should
toughen them up.
All right, well, that's our state of the Bulls, and we're going to take a break really quick and come back with our trade machine that we've kind of put on pause since the season started, but I think it's about time to put that segment back into play. So let's see what Chicago Bulls we can get rid of and who we can bring back into our system right after this. It's once again time for that segment that we love and you love even more. It's the ESPN Trade Machine segment right here on the Bulls podcast. I'm going to start this off. If you can go to the ESPN Trade Machine, I've got a link in it at our show notes at bullspodcast.com. I got two that we're going to get rid of and two that we're going to bring in, and this is going to be controversial wise. Let's see what you think of it. I am trading Jabari Parker and Cristiano Felicio to the Washington Wizards for Otto Porter Jr. and Dwight Howard. Oh, yeah. So for us, that gets rid of the Brazilian marshmallow and Cristiano Felicio. That's almost $9 million that we don't have to eat for the next 3 years. And Jabari Parker, which sounds like he wanted a trade anyway because he's just not working out. That gives us a small forward in Otto Porter Jr., 3-year deal, $26 million. I think he's just got to get some good exposure in terms of, some playing time.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good player. He gets, around 15 a game. So definitely in Jabari's wheelhouse as far as his productivity. I'll tell you, I always had a sour stomach to Otto Porter because of that Shaqtin' the Fool clip where Tony Snell kind of faked him out of his shoes and ran to the other side of the key. And Otto was just looking around like, what? I can't judge a guy on his Shaqtin' appearance, right? And then the other guy, Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
He is in a 2-year, $5.3 million deal. Do you believe Dwight Howard's making less than Felicio by like $3 million? That makes no sense.
Yeah, given where he's come from, no way.
Yeah. So, you know what? Dwight's a 14-year guy. He's probably got another year or two left. I really think that he'd be a valuable asset to actually working with Wendell Carter Jr. and some of the other guys. And look, he makes a third of what Robin Lopez does. So if we could get him for $5 million for next year and still get some hype, I think he'd love the city of Chicago. I think he'd be a character here. I think that would really do something. So that's my trade. Jabari Parker and Cristiano Felicio out of here. We're getting rid of our power forward log jam that we've got here in Chicago, getting rid of two of those guys and bringing in a small forward in Otto Porter Jr. and a center in Dwight Howard.
So I like Otto Porter Jr., and I definitely wouldn't mind him coming over here, but I'm not too high on Dwight Howard just because I don't know, man. He's not a winner at all to me. And I know you said that he could probably mentor, players like Wendell Carter Jr., but I feel like that's what we have Robin Lopez for. And I'd much rather Robin Lopez than Dwight Howard at this point, as crazy as that sounds.
We're not going to have Robin next year, though. That's the thing.
That's true enough, but I still don't see the value in Dwight Howard personally, just because, like you said, he's a character, man, a bit of a clown even.
Well, let's play the comparison. Okay. Would you rather have Otto Porter over Jabari Parker?
Of course.
Would you rather have Dwight Howard than Cristiano Felicio?
If I'm tanking, no.
Okay. Well,
I mean, listen, obviously Dwight Howard is the better player between he and Felicio, but I mean, he wouldn't be a part of our future, and I wouldn't see him helping us in many ways. I don't see him helping us. I just don't. I don't think he's a Chicago guy.
Maybe we put him in the G League and sell some tickets over there and hop in the States. Who knows?
That's a better spot for him.
All right, so you got a monster 3-team trade. Why don't you break this one down? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Listen to this, y'all. All right, so I'm going to just break it down like team by team. So I have Rajon Rondo, Brandon Ingram, and Michael Beasley, all from the LA Lakers, coming over to Chicago. I have John Wall and Satoransky from the Wizards going over to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I have Jabari Parker and Lonzo Ball going over to the Washington Wizards. Now, my thinking behind this is, by the Bulls getting Rajon Rondo back, we have that veteran, that championship veteran leadership that we sorely need on this team right now. Look at the whole fiasco that we have going on this team right now, just with the whole locker room craziness with the coach and everything like that. You bring Rajon Rondo over here, which the young players on this Bulls team who love this guy 2 years ago when we had him. I really felt like the young players galvanized around Rajon Rondo, and I could really see him being a true veteran leader on this team. Yeah. Plus, he's a true point guard, and I think that he make the game easier for the guys. Secondly, I have Brandon Ingram. If you ask me, he's a budding young star. I know looking at his stats this year, looking at his play this year, he doesn't necessarily look to be on that trajectory, but you have to remember that he's playing with the LeBron James. Before LeBron got over there, Brandon Ingram, his numbers were going up consistently every year that he's been in the league, and I actually see really high potential in this kid. I think that he could fix our small forward problem, and Michael Beasley was just a throw-in. He wouldn't play. Next, I have John Wall up over there going to the Lakers. Now, obviously, this is a great deal for them because they're getting that second superstar that they need beside LeBron James. I think that John Wall would take some of the pressure off of LeBron James down the stretch. LeBron wouldn't always have to worry about the ball handling and worried about having to take on so much of a scoring load. And some people will say, well, John Wall can't shoot, but can Lonzo Ball shoot? Nah. And they're also getting a marksman in Satoransky. So that would give them an extra shooter over there. So I think that would be a decent trade for them. And lastly, the Washington Wizards getting Jabari Parker and Lonzo Ball. I think in Jabari Parker, they just be getting that scoring help that they need. They be getting the second scorer alongside Bradley Beal, who really needs some help out there, because I don't think that he and John Wall, I don't know. I just don't think that they can get themselves to a place where they can be a championship team together. So you might as well blow that up. Send Jabari Parker over there. Let him get a restart, a fresh start. Maybe, playing with a pass-first point guard and Lonzo Ball will open up something in his game where he can finally, sprout as a ball player. And segueing into Lonzo Ball, I think that he would be just the dream point guard for Bradley Beal, because he does everything right out there on the floor. He's a tall guard who plays hard-nosed defense. He makes all the right decisions, and I think he would just feed Bradley consistently. So I think that this trade works out for everybody.
I like it. My biggest, and I like, by the way, us getting two guys at the 3 in Ingram and Beasley. I think that's a great mix. And Rondo, man, I wouldn't even mind if Rondo coached this Bulls team. I think that'd be amazing.
He'd be the player coach. Yeah.
So I like this trade a lot, man. John Wall going to the Lakers makes a lot of sense. You know, it's kind of funny about John Wall. Doesn't he seem like he's a superstar that was just kind of hidden in the league? I mean, playing for Washington, you don't really get a lot of exposure. It's not really a big market in terms of, you know, a lot of exposure or views. John Wall was always that guy to me that just seemed like I never heard anything about him. Nothing going on with him. He's a great player, but he just plays for a lousy team. Now, when Washington had like Nene and some of those other guys, man, that team was vicious, that Washington team, and they always had the Bulls number all the time. So I like this trade. I think the Lakers would love to have John Wall. I don't think that they're attached to Brandon Ingram or Rondo right now. Nope. I wonder, though, giving up 2 point guards, the Lakers giving up 2 point guards, if John Wall would totally foot the bill for that. I'm sure that they could find somebody within their ranks to kind of
Who's the second point guard? You mean Ingram?
No, I'm saying they're giving up Rondo, who's a point guard, and they're giving up Lonzo Ball, who's another point guard.
True.
To get John Wall, who's a point guard, but I think that they're going to lack a little bit of depth. So I don't know if they necessarily pull the trigger on that, but I think if they could get John Wall on his 5-year, $19 million deal, I think they'd do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they pull that. This is John Wall, man. They're wishing for a second superstar to come there. LeBron and Magic Johnson, I think they pull the trigger on that one, and they figure it out later as far as the depth.
Let's analyze this from a Bulls perspective. Rondo's on a 1-year deal, right? Yeah. So he may not be back next year. Beasley's on a 1-year deal, so he wouldn't be back. The only thing you're on the hook for is Brandon Ingram, who's got 2 years on his deal at $5.8 million. That's nothing in terms of the cap. And you get a 3 that we thought Jabari was going to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good move. I think we should send this over to Gar and Pax right now, and I'm going to Twitter this after the show and see what they think. So that's a great trade, and I think we're going to be playing this game for the next couple weeks or so to see exactly what the Bulls should be doing. Give us your thoughts on Twitter, on Facebook, anywhere else as far as who you think the Bulls should trade for and who we should get rid of. Just follow us at Bulls Podcast, and we'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back to close it out right after this. All right, that's going to wrap it up for episode number 18. We covered a lot of ground here, and boy, hopefully, in the next couple weeks or so as we end this year, we're going to see a little bit of change coming to the Bulls. Hopefully we get rid of some of the dead weight, bring in some guys that can maybe make a difference. And, hey, we got a couple trade ideas. I'm sure everybody else does out there too, but we'll definitely pursue those things as time goes on here. So just scheduling stuff. Here's who we got. We got Steph No from The Athletic that's going to be on the show soon. C-Red Fred has agreed to be on the show in a couple weeks, and we got maybe some surprises. There's a bunch of new Bulls podcasts that have come about, and it's pretty interesting. So go to bulls.fm if you want to check out any of those new shows. Cash Considerations is one, and there's another one that I'm just going to be adding tonight. So there's also Running with the Bulls, which is a pretty good podcast. A lot of podcasts for the Bulls. I think there's like 13 shows going out there so far. So we're definitely covered there. Appreciate everybody subscribing. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Visit our Facebook page at bullspodcast.com/Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Wyse, what do you got going on, buddy?
Nothing much, man. Just working. You know how it is. Just staying on the grind. I'm finally back, and I'm very, very happy, very, very proud to be back to work with my guy Marcus. So we're definitely working, and you guys already know that you can connect with me on social media at radical_creator. That's Twitter and Instagram at radical_creator. And let's do what it do, man.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Until next time, go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Hey, Bulls fans. This is your Bulls championship announcer, Ray Clay, saying so long, everybody. Go Bulls!